Welcome back to PC Builder. I'm Jason. GPU prices are crazy in December 2023. We had massive deals over Black Friday and Cyber Monday on some GPUs, and some of them really sucked. We'll go through the best GPU for 1080p, 1440p, and 4K right now. And we'll also take a look at where prices are going to go in 2024 with new GPUs coming on down the line. Remember, if you get value out of the video, give it a like. It makes a huge difference to the channel, especially this guy right here. And of course, subscribe. Click that bell icon. That way you get notified when we release cool content. With that, let's jump into it. This video is sponsored by 1Password, protecting your digital life. Hackers want your stuff, and weak and reused passwords are their favorite way to get it. But 1Password keeps you protected. And 1Password goes beyond just passwords, easily and securely storing everything from sensitive documents to banking info to medical records across all your devices. And 1Password has tons of other features to keep you safe, like their Watchtower Password Security Sentinel, monitoring your overall password security health. Don't be a victim, protect yourself and your family, and get 50% off at 1Password by clicking the link in the video description. Let's jump into current GPU pricing in December 2023. Everything you see in that blue December column is right now what's available. That's after Cyber Monday, after Black Friday. We will go through what the best deals on these GPUs were for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. And look at that, some of these GPUs have completely sold out, especially on the NVIDIA side, which we'll get to in just a moment. Let's start off with the 7000 series and the 7900 XTX. Currently $909, had gotten down to $889. That was for Prime Day in October. We see right now you can pick one up. That's the ASRock Phantom Gaming for $909. But I do want you to notice, there's not that many models currently available. They've actually removed a number of models. A number are out of stock. That isn't just because they sold well during the holiday shopping season. They did. There's some stuff going on in China we'll talk about in the GPU news section that may bode ill for pricing on these GPUs. But if you did follow the channel, we dug up a phenomenal deal, $889. So basically you got that Amazon Prime October price for this, and it was over at Walmart, but it was sold and shipped by Newegg at Walmart. But if you went to Newegg's website, it was like 40 bucks more. I don't understand how that works, but we got the deal. So hopefully you were able to take advantage of this if you were looking for a 7900 XTX. Of course, then we have this 7900 XT. Not good deals really, in my opinion, for the 7900 XT. The better deals were had in October at $719. Right now, you can still pick one up at $749. There's still some hope that there will be steeper discounts because some of the listings that looked like they should have gone live that were going to be the best deal at Newegg just never actually went live for some reason. That's the XFX Speedster Merc. It's been stuck in coming soon since before Black Friday. So hopefully they'll realize that, they'll release that, we'll get some better deals. But you can also see there's not a lot of 7900 XTs even available right now. Again, I think there's some stuff going on in China that we'll talk about. May not bode well for the pricing on these cards. But if you wanted the best deal, that was the Power Color Hellhound, did get down to $729. Then we get to the 7800 XT, and quite honestly, just was $499 the whole time. Very briefly, we got a coupon for like $20 off, but they were selling so quickly at Amazon that coupon just went away almost as soon as it was there. Kind of scary that their pricing algorithm is actually that good. It saw all of them selling out and it snapped it up. Right now, in fact, there's only really one model or two models here at $499. Actually, this one just popped right back in, had been sold out until just a moment ago. But then the rest of them do get a little bit more expensive, although you'll notice no promo codes or anything really on these. I think these are being reset for potential holiday December sales. And then we get to the kind of who cares category, the 7700 XT 7600. Really no change to the 7700 XT other than it went back to the October price of too expensive at $429. The 7600, we did see Black Friday deals all the way down to, I think it was $229 very, very briefly, kind of competitive with the 6650 XT. Let's quickly punch through the 6000 series because this is where we actually saw deals over Black Friday. Starting off with the 6950 XT, got down just to $589, but it was enough to basically completely sell it out. You can find the odd model on Amazon for way too much money. That's kind of indicative of something being completely sold out. This does say it's temporarily out of stock. We'll replenish as soon as possible. It's possible there's some more on the channel, but I think we've effectively seen the end of the 6950 XT. Then we got this 6800 XT, which honestly, it currently today just hit its lowest price even over Black Friday, and that is the ASRock Phantom Gaming model. RX 6800 XT had gone to $449 during the Black Friday, Cyber Monday holiday shopping period, but just today hits $439. I just posted this to the channel. I will say, if you want one of these 6800 XTs, you better kind of hurry because they're basically pushing the rest of these out the door. I don't think it's going to be that long until we see maybe some discounts on the Power Color Red Dragon one, but that's a different company. So if you want one, pick it up now. And then the RX 6800, currently $399. still a good deal for that card, but it did get down to $369. $369, kind of spoiler alert for some of the other GPUs right there, but 6800, 16 gigabyte. This is the non-XT version for $369. All right, let's round out the GPUs with the best value 1440p GPU, possibly selling out. That's the 6700, 6750 XT. Now its 10 gigabyte kind of slightly nerfed version has definitely sold out everywhere. Sold out everywhere, it's gone. I found one or two models still at Best Buy for kind of a ridiculous price, but it's gone off the market. Probably going to be the fate of the 6700 and 6750 XT. If you look, you can still pick one up for $299, briefly hit $289, but mostly stayed at that $299, including some of the higher end models were at $299, and the 6750 XT got down to like $320. So for 20 bucks more, you could get the 6750 XT, 6% more performance. But if you look, this includes the 6750 XT. There are not many models left. Most of these are completely sold out. It's possible that we're going to get some more XFX Speedster ones. There's possibly some more still in the channel, kind of making their way. But if you want one of these, pick it up, because I am kind of afraid of what happens to 1440p gaming at around the $300 price point once these are gone off the market. And then of course, to finish out, 6650 XT hit $209 actually just today, even better than Black Friday and Cyber Monday pricing, 6600 at $184. I would say kind of same thing. The pricing on these is good. However, there's not a lot of models left. You can see there's really only a handful of models left. Even over at Amazon, there's only a handful of models left. But the 6600 looks a little bit more healthy with still 4 or 5 models. But I know AMD wants to shove these out the door and force you to buy a slightly overpriced RX 7600. Before we jump into NVIDIA GPU pricing, let's quickly punch through Intel. And they actually sold a lot of GPUs. I was surprised at how many GPUs went out of stock. Maybe they just didn't have that many to sell from the beginning. A770, $299 right now. Got down to that $269 price, completely sold out of that model. I will say the A750 though, look at that $179 right now, but that's over at Best Buy. That's not Newegg, it's not Amazon. Looks like some retailers like Best Buy just want to shove these out the door, get rid of the rest of them, not be left hanging on to some of the stock, but you can pick this up right now, $179. Also, these GPUs are coming with Assassin's Creed Mirage, so there's actually a pretty good game bundle. I was surprised. The A580, $179 right now, did hit $159. It was like going back to 2019 GPU prices there for a second. And again, of course, you do pick that up with the game bundle, Assassin's Creed Mirage, but right now, $179, obviously get the A750. Let's jump into NVIDIA GPU pricing for December 2023. And right off the bat, you probably noticed 3 of these GPUs are sold out, and a couple of these models, I think, by the end of the holiday season are going to join them. Let's punch through this. Let's start off with the 4090. Obviously, with what's going on in China right now, which we'll talk a little bit more about in the news section, the 4090 has just gone off the market everywhere except China. And that's because they're getting massive prices before that thing gets banned, being able to be sold to China by the US State Department. So that's just crazy right now. You can find a couple of listings still out there for well over $2,000, but effectively it's sold out at this point. Then we have the RTX 4080, $1,154 right now. You're like, Jason, I thought this thing was going to come down in price because the Super Series is coming out. Yeah, don't necessarily bet the farm on that. I would not bet the farm on that, because that 4090 ban is having a knock-on effect, because the 4080s also being shipped to China right now. So we may be seeing some huge dynamics going on because of all this geopolitical stuff in the GPU market. But let's jump into the 4070 Ti and below for the 4000 series, where we saw some price discounts. I honestly was quite shocked at how good some of the prices got. Obviously, the 4070 Ti, 12 gigabyte is going to get replaced by the 4070 Super, 16 gigabyte coming. So there was a lot of incentive to sell that thing off. Currently $739 right now. But if we look at some of the best deals that were out there, and kind of spoiler alert for the other ones as well, you could pick one of these up for $714. $714, and then there was a nice 3-fan Zotac model for $729. There were actually a number of models down around $730 to $715, but they have all either sold out now or the price has gone back up. Then of course we got the RTX 4070 12 gigabyte GPU, and remember the replacement for that is also only going to have 12 gigs and possibly be quite a bit more expensive, maybe towards that $600 plus price point. We'll have to find out in January when NVIDIA announces those. You could pick one of these up for $539 right now in December. That's the MSI Ventus model. You can get this. There's a number of other models. There's a couple you can back order for $529. I usually don't add back order ones in. I just whatever's currently available right now. And during the shopping season, during Black Friday to Cyber Monday, there was consistently a $514 RTX 4070. Yes, it was Zotac model. It's a highly rated Zotac model. I know some people still don't like Zotac for whatever reason. out there, but it was available, and there were some other MSI models as well, down towards that $520 price point. Rounding out the 4000 series, we've got the RTX 4060 Ti 16 gigabyte. Pricing on that back up to $449. The best price was $429, the same price it's been since October, and since even before that, basically they cut the price when the 7700 XT came out, and it's been hovering there. However, it has gone back up for the 16 gigabyte model. You can pick up the 8 gigabyte model for $369, but you're talking 8 gigs of VRAM for almost $400. Pretty insane. And the RTX 4060, again, $289. It had been kind of hovering around $269 during the holiday period, but those have largely sold out. $289 is the best price for it. Again, these are GPUs that probably nobody should be buying right now. Let's jump into RTX 3000 series cards because they are almost completely sold out. Almost completely sold out. In fact, you'll note I just updated the spreadsheet for the 3070, 3070 Ti because I went to pull some listings to show you, and it looks like they are completely sold out. Let's go ahead and start there. I had a price of $399. I can't even find that model anymore. It's completely gone. I clicked on it. Even in like a PC Part Picker, you can't really find, you click through and the price is different. So this is the remaining listings. They're all insanely priced. They're third-party sellers. So let's just call it the 3070 and 3070 Ti. They are gone. 3060 Ti, similarly, it's absolutely gone. You cannot find a unit right now less than $400, which is crazy, crazy pricing for that GPU. Now, it's possible that there are some still in the supply chain for a number of these models, and they'll just kind of trickle in, but this is the effective end, it seems, of the RTX 30 series GPUs, which I don't know how that bodes for us, because let's jump into the 3060. The 3060 8 gigabyte, completely gone. It blows my mind. It's because it's always priced slightly below, so people who don't know that there's a difference in those GPUs, they just buy the cheaper one, probably thinking it's the same level of performance. NVIDIA pulled a fast one on them, unfortunately. But even the 3060 12 gigabyte, as I look around and find this card, look at this. It looks like everything's out of stock except for these 3 listings. These 3 listings, and then it looks like maybe we're gonna get some of the Zotac. These were on for $249 during Black Friday, during the holiday shopping season. You can see right here, the $249. In fact, the MSI Ventus one got down to $249. Every time the $249 current model sold out, they dropped another model to $249 until they basically completely sold them out. So there's really just a handful of models left. The 3050 is the one GPU that you can still find in great abundance. Again, not a lot of people clamoring for that 3050, even at $219. Did get down all the way, I think, just about $199 on Black Friday. Let's jump into the GPU news, and I've got basically items that focus on pricing for 2024. 2024 pricing, where is it going to go? Let's start off with the obvious things that are happening. Obviously, NVIDIA is going to announce January 8th, 8 a.m. Pacific time at CES 2024. During CES 2024, they're going to announce their Super Series. That's what everyone is expecting. They haven't said that specifically. That's what all the rumors and links are. We know that we're going to get the RTX 4070 Super, the 4070 Ti Super, that'll have 16 gigabytes instead of 12, and the 4080 Super. All a slight bump in terms of performance. Pricing speculation ranges from aggressive, better pricing to kind of the same pricing that we've already had, or even worse. We'll have to wait and see. Of course, the other thing going on right now that's significantly impacting pricing, and probably will in 2024, is the ban of shipping RTX 4090 GPUs to China and to third-party countries where they're likely to be re-exported to China. It's part of a U.S. State Department ban on technology, or U.S. technology ban, I should say, in order to prevent China from getting military-grade AI. I won't go into the geopolitics of it. You can Google that yourself. It's not a politics channel, obviously. We're mostly focused on GPU prices. This has led to a shortage of 4090s in China just ahead of the ban going ahead, and everybody shipped all the 4090 GPUs that were going to go like to the US and everything. They shipped them to China to beat the ban and get them in as quickly as they could, where they were just selling for insane amounts of money. That's why you can't find them anywhere else. But as the 4090 ban has gone forward, it looks like this 7900 XTX, 7900 XT, 7900 GRE, sales have picked up in China to a rapid extent because people can't get the 4090 right now among gamers in China. That's maybe one of the reasons that if you were hoping 7900 XTX might get a price cut in early 2024, there is some evidence that that may not actually happen. The prices you just saw for Black Friday might be the lowest we have. We'll have to wait and see, of course. Then, of course, NVIDIA is not going to let this 4090 ban sit, because now that they've shipped in and made as much money as they can, with the shortage, they're now going to prepare a model that will meet the export requirements. This is the RTX 4090D. This is allegedly coming to China. Again, all this is leaks and rumors, but basically NVIDIA wants to sell 4090s. They want to sell them in China. They don't want to have them banned. So this does make a lot of sense. It might take a little while, however, to get them there. They're basically slightly cut down versions of the 4090 that meet those export requirements. And then finally, I just one big note out there because this keeps coming up. We continue to see scam listings on Amazon, especially for Radeon GPUs, 7800 XT, 7900 XT, and 7900 XTX at what seem like insanely low prices, like $400 for an XTX. And we get people messaging our channel saying, hey, Jason, this is an insane Black Friday or Cyber Monday deal. I'm like, no, it's not. It's actually a scam. I'll be honest, I don't fully understand how this works because it doesn't seem like the people who buy these are hurt in any way. Amazon, of course, reimburses, make sure to take care of that. Amazon, I believe, is trying to remove these as fast as they can, but you'll often see these sellers, click on the sellers, make sure it's either sold and shipped by Amazon or a reputable third-party seller. There are reputable third-party sellers out there. If you click on the seller and it says recently established or there's no ratings for them, I would go ahead and pass. Probably a scam listing. Let's jump into the best GPU for December 2023, basically a snapshot at the end of the year for the market. If you're not familiar with how we do this, we take all these GPUs that we're tracking, all have 8 gigs or more of VRAM on them, and we take the best price, both used and new. We prefer 35% discount for used over new cards, and then we get a price to performance, and we break them out by 1080p, 1440p, and 4K. Remember, this is linked down in the video description. This is US-based pricing. If you want to jump in that spreadsheet, put in your own pricing, you can. Starting off with the best GPU, under $200 December 2023, and let's just break it out. I mean, honestly, if you need something just to get you going, the RX 570 8GB for $41. Remember, we don't track the 4GB ones. You can get one with 8 gigs of VRAM for just $41. So those are the ones I would pick up. RX 580, also a good deal. If you've got more closer to $100, the GTX 1070 Ti for $99, really insane value. I would definitely pick it up over the RX 590, the 1070 Ti, quite a bit more performance. But if you can afford just a little bit more, I know they've come up in price, the 5700 XT kind of popped back up to $137. It's a little tougher to recommend. The 1080 Ti with 11 gigs of VRAM does stand out for $164, although again, you're buying quite an old card there. I would probably go ahead and just swallow the less VRAM and buy something new. ARC A750, the ARC A580 are potential options here. You can see the A750 has a lot of price to performance, but you got to be willing to put up with not necessarily having drivers on day one of big game launches. If you want that, the RX 6600 for $184 really doesn't have any equal in the new market. Jumping over to the best high FPS 1080p GPU in December 2023. So this is where it's got 10 gigs or more of VRAM, runs all the titles at higher ultra settings, and $350 or less while having a GPU score of 180 or greater. Right now, honestly, the 6700, 6750 XT, it's really tough not to find the $300 and pull the trigger on that card. Again, it could go 1080 Ti if you don't mind buying something that's quite old. The 6700, now that it's completely sold out and you can't buy it new, the $214 used price is pretty good out there. So if you're open to buying used cards, those are pretty good options. Honestly, once we get past that, what else really is there? The 3060 12GB for $289 just doesn't really compete against the 6700 XT 12GB. So I would grab that 6700 while it's still out there. Let's jump into the best 1440p GPU in December 2023. So this is where we have 12 gigs or more VRAM. We can run all titles at ultra or high settings, at least rasterized, and it's got a 220 GPU score or higher. You will note there is a big gap. Once those RX 6000 series cards sell out, what is going to happen to the GPU market for you 1440p enthusiasts out there who don't want to spend $500 for a GPU and jump up to the 7800 XT or the RTX 4070? You probably have to spend even more on the 4070 coming soon, right? Coming soon. There are not many options left. We've got a number of good used options, including a 6950 XT, $511 used in the 6900 XT. But again, that's buying a used card. If you want a new card, the 6800 XT, while they still remain the very thin stock that's out there, the 6800 non-XT, the thin stock that's out there, and the 6700 and 6750 XT, once those cards sell out, you will be spending $500 for this level of performance. I will say I am ignoring the 7700 XT and the 4060 Ti 16GB card. God, NVIDIA and the GPU names is getting crazy. because they're terrible value right now. So the 7700 XT could slot in. We could see big price cuts on that GPU. I think that would be smart by AMD to get into that $350 price range that I said when that card launched it needed to hit. But other than that, I think we're looking at $400+ for GPUs of comparable performance. Moving over to the best 1440p 240Hz GPU December 2023. Now listen, obviously some of those weaker 1440p GPUs drop out because we're targeting 240Hz in competitive titles or just higher frame rates in regular titles. And honestly, right now, the RX 6000 series just continues to dominate this lineup with a good nod towards the RTX 3080 12GB. The 3080 Ti is also in here. Those are used cards, of course. And then we've got the RX 7800 XT in the current generation is really the first card we hit at $500. RTX 4070, where are you? You're kind of down there a little bit. The 7700 XT also capable in this, and that's why I think there could be kind of a light shining at the GPU market. If AMD makes good price cuts on the 7700 XT, we could see that GPU drop down and become the best price to performance from being currently one of the worst right now. And then of course, we've got the big hitter GPUs, the 7900 XT, the XTX. Even with the XTX price cuts, it's not the best in terms of price to performance, but it is the best in terms of overall performance for this GPU listing. Let's jump into the best 4K GPU December 2023. This is where the GPU score is 430 or greater, and we've got 16 gigs or more of VRAM. And I will note, this is what has capped the 4070 Ti off this list because it's insane to buy an $800 GPU with only 12 gigs of VRAM, right? When it can't even run all titles on release at 4K. Right now, the current values are obviously the used RX 6000 series card, 6900 XT, 6950 XT, or the new 7900 XT or 7900 XTX. I will note that with the current price reductions on the XTX and this XT kind of sitting at that higher price, $749, you look, the price performance is almost dead even between them. It does make sense if you can afford it to go ahead and jump up to the XTX, at least with the current pricing. The RTX 4080, 4090, obviously with their current pricing is just terrible, terrible values right now. We'll have to see if the 4080 Super can bring anything new. I don't expect too much out of that card, maybe about 10% more performance. Maybe the pricing will get better. We'll have to see. Let's play everyone's favorite game. Should you buy now or should you wait? Well, I mean, look, there are still some deals out there. There is an argument to buying now, depending on how much you're looking to spend, depending on what class of buyer you are. And your perception of the deals for Black Friday is probably heavily influenced by what segment of the market you are, because certain segments of the market saw insane deals, while other segments of the market, they were kind of blah, basically, kind of blah, especially if you were looking for like a 4080 deal, which just was not going to happen. Let's start off with the budget segment, because I think that's the easiest one. I think especially with the increased amount of used GPUs, although used pricing did increase a little bit over the holiday shopping season, you're really solid there, under $100. You know what GPUs to pick up. But when you get into, I want to buy a new GPU that's budget, man, you better pick up one of those RX 6600 8GB cards before they go away, because what's going to be left out there, or 6650 XT for like, 20 or 30 bucks more, probably worth it too. What's coming? The 4050, nobody's talked about a 4050 coming anytime soon. The 3050 is a pile of garbage. The Intel cards, you're going to have to tinker with, you're going to have to wait for day one drivers. So my strong recommendation is pick up those cards while you can. If you're more in the mid-range of the market, looking to spend like $300 to $500 on your GPU, especially if you're at the lower end of that segment, grab a 6700 12GB XT right now while you can, because once those are gone, there's going to be a big hole in the 1440p capable GPU market out there. What are you going to buy? A 4060 8GB card, a 4060 Ti 8GB card? No, you have to go up to either the 7700 XT for $429 or the 4060 Ti 16GB card. God, all these names, $450. They're terrible values. So I would snap up one of those 6000 series card. The 6800 XT is still a good value. 6800 might be a good value depending on where you are. At the high end of the market, honestly, if you wanted a 7900 XTX, there's still good deals. Check that links out down in the video description. $909 is a good price for that GPU, and the price might be going back up, or at least availability might get a little tighter as they ship some of those cards to China to try and make even more money right now off that 4090 ban. I do think the 4090 ban is a limited time thing. It's not like crypto mining where everything's going to sell out. These things take 5 or 6 months to settle out. That's not going to be anytime soon. You might as well pick something up unless you're an NVIDIA only buyer and or you've got the cash to buy a 4080 Super, possibly a 4070 Ti Super, those might be worth waiting for. Remember, if you got value out of this video, give it a like, because it makes a huge difference to the channel, especially this guy right here. And of course, subscribe, click that bell icon. That way you get notified when we release cool content. Hey, speaking of cool content, did you check out our best Boost My Build episodes right here? Best of the year. Check it out. They're a lot of fun, and we'll catch you on the next one.